Surendra, Mohammed, Sai Krishna. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So yesterday we discussed about what is single user, what is multi-user operating system, which are comes under Microsoft family, which are comes under Unix family. What is the meaning of homogeneous and heterogeneous? When a client is Windows, server also Windows, called as a homogeneous. Just a minute. When client is Windows, server also Windows, that is called a homogeneous. When the client is Unix, server also Unix, called as a homogeneous. Heterogeneous means the client always Windows, server always Unix. In the real time, we are going to work only in heterogeneous environment. Now, let us discuss about the difference between Windows and Linux. We discussed a lot of flavors, Unix flavors like Solaris, HP Unix, IBM AX, Macintosh, Apple Talk, Digital Unix, Co-Unix, 264 Unix, ANSI Unix. When we have these many flavors, why the companies are using Linux? Because a company called Sun Microsystems, I think you might have heard about Sun Microsystems. Anyone heard about Sun Microsystems? Anyone?
No, sir.
No. But have you heard about Java? You know Java, right?
Yes.
Yes. Java everyone knows. But who developed the Java? Sun Microsystems. Java was developed by Sun Microsystems. So a company like Sun Microsystems, they have their own software and they have their own hardware. The software is Solaris. Solaris is the operating system developed by Sun Microsystems. Their own hardware Spark. Spark stands scalable processor architecture. Spark stands scalable processor architecture. So Sun Microsystem, they have their own software and they have their own hardware. HP Hewlett Packard developed OS called HP Unix. OS called HP Unix. Their own hardware HP service. Their own hardware HP service. IBM International Business Management developed OS called AX. Their own hardware IBM service. These companies, they have their own software and they have their own hardware. Solaris, we cannot install any other hardware, only on Spark. HP Unix only on HP service. IBM AX only on IBM service. Whereas, if you come to Windows, who developed Windows? Microsoft. Microsoft developed Windows operating system. On which hardware Microsoft developed Windows? Anyone? On which hardware Microsoft developed Windows operating system? They don't have any hardware. Windows can be installed on any hardware, any architecture. x86. x86 means Intel. You can install Windows on any hardware, any architecture. So Windows is hardware independent. The advantage of Windows is hardware independent. Whereas, just Windows is hardware independent. We can install Windows on any hardware, laptop, desktop, any hardware. Whereas these operating systems are hardware dependent. These are the hardware dependent. These servers are very, very expensive. Similarly, Linux also hardware independent. Linux can be installed on any hardware, any architecture. Compare with Windows and Linux. Windows is licensed software. Hello? 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 చెప్పండి ఇప్పుడు వచ్చారు నేను ఆల్రెడీ క్లాస్ స్టార్ట్ చేశాను 309. So Windows is licensed software, whereas Linux no license. For Linux, no license required. For Linux, no license required. No license required. It's a freeware. Windows need a specific hardware. Linux, no specific hardware required. Linux, no specific hardware is required. The meaning of specific hardware. The meaning of specific hardware. To install Linux, to install Windows, at least you require minimum 10 GB storage. 10 GB storage. At least you require minimum 10 GB storage. Linux, no specific hardware is required. I can install Linux 1.44 MB RAM. I can install Linux 1.44 MB RAM. 1.44 MB storage and 1 MB RAM. 1.44 MB storage, 1 MB RAM. For installation of Windows, we need a specific hardware, minimum 10 GB storage, 1 GB RAM. But for Linux, 1.44 MB storage, 1 MB RAM. We don't require more than 1.44 MB. Very good. For Linux, we don't require more than 1.44 MB storage. Can anyone tell which type of device we have which contains capacity maximum 1.44 MB? Anyone? Pen drive, minimum 2 GB, 4 GB. Then what about device 1.44 MB storage? We used to use floppies. When I started Unix, 1990s, SCO Unix, we used to use floppies. At that time, there was no hard disk. It was there, but the hard disk, 1 GB hard disk, 1 GB hard disk cost 1.5 lakhs in 1990s. Hard disk was very, very expensive. So we used to use floppy drives. We can copy this Linux kernel in the floppy. We can copy this Linux kernel in the floppy. We can carry the floppy. We don't require any storage hard disk also. And 1 MB RAM. So that is called no specific hardware is required for Linux. No source code is available. In Microsoft, no source code is available. Linux open source code. The advantage of Linux is open source code. What is this open source code? We discuss later. This is difference between Windows and Linux. In Linux, we have two types of software. One is called RHEL. RHEL stands Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Sorry. One is freeware. Freeware. The other one is Red Hat distribution software. There are two types of ways. One is called freeware. The other one we call Red Hat distribution software. The Red Hat distribution software is not a freeware. It's a licensed software. It's not a freeware. It's a licensed software. The freeware versions are 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, latest and current is 18.0. The licensed software versions are 1.0, 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. The latest and current is 8.0. That is difference between freeware and licensed software. Why there is a difference? Why there is a difference? Because the freeware versions release for every 6 months. The freeware versions release for every 6 months. Whereas licensed software not for every 6 months, for every 2.5 years. The licensed software for every 2.5 years. That is the difference between freeware and licensed software. You can ask, when this software is available free of cost, why should I purchase licensed software? When this software available free of cost, why should we purchase licensed software? Anyone? No. What are the features we have freeware? Same features we have licensed software, no different. Generally, why you people are installing Windows in a lap or desktop? Why not Linux? One is not a graphical mode, but Linux also we have graphical. We can work on command line, we can work on graphical. Not secure. That's for Linux more secure, right? Why we prefer Windows? Why not Linux? Yes, Ubuntu is one of the flavor of Linux. It is more user friendly like Windows. Red Hat Sandbox is not that much user friendly, everything command line, but Ubuntu Linux is the more user friendly like Windows. You feel that you are working on Windows if you work on Ubuntu Linux. So why you purchase laptop? For playing the games, watching the movies, right? Windows only for entertainment. Windows only for entertainment. Unix or Linux not for entertainment, only for database production application. So database yes, I can install database on freeware, but no support from Red Hat. The companies when they're using database, they need a support. That's why they have to go for licensed software. Support only for licensed software, no support for the freeware. So if you are going with 4 to 5 years experience on Linux, one of the role of Linux admin is update and upgrade. What is the difference between update and upgrade? Update can be a patch. Update is nothing but patch. For example, 7.0 version. After 7.0, 7.1 is released. After 7.1, 7.2 is released. This is called updates. This is called updates. Upgradation means 7.0 to 8.0. 7.0 to 8.0, that is called upgradation. In yesterday's class, we discussed that kernel always monolithic. Monolithic means cannot be uninstalled, cannot be removed, but we can upgrade it. We can upgrade it. That is the difference between freeware and licensed software. Why it is called Red Hat distribution software? In Linux, there are so many flavors which are comes under Linux family. Red Hat, Ubuntu, CentOS, Ubuntu, Fedora, SUSE Linux, Debian, Whitebox, Kali Linux, Puppy Linux. Like there are so many flavors. All this comes under distribution or Linux variants. Comes under Linux variant. Yesterday we discussed that how to check that is it a Solaris or HP Unix or IBM AX. Yesterday class we discussed how to check is it a Solaris or HP Unix or IBM. Madam, madam, chair in Ekner. In Ekner. See, uname -s. What is uname -s? To know what flavor of Unix it is. Is it a Solaris or HP Unix or IBM AX? But not showing that what flavor of Linux it is. How to know the flavor of Linux? How to know the flavor of Linux? Cat slash it is a slash. What is that? It's a sandwich. Without typing this command, we don't know what flavor of Unix. Without typing this command, we don't know what flavor of Linux it is. If it is Red Hat, we can say as a Red Hat. Ubuntu, we can say as a Ubuntu. As a DevOps engineer or Linux or a cloud admin, you need to understand is it a Red Hat or Ubuntu or Fedora or SUSE Linux? Because as a DevOps engineer, if it is a Red Hat, the package installation is different. If it is a Ubuntu, the package installation is different. So unless until without knowing what flavor of Unix or Linux it is, we can't able to work as a DevOps engineer. So these commands are very, very important, not only for Linux, even for cloud engineer, cloud admin, or DevOps engineer as well. So where we use Red Hat? Red Hat for used for production. Our database. All the production database servers are Red Hat. Servers for development. All development servers are CentOS. Ubuntu for testing or workstation. Ubuntu for testing or workstation. Even we can use as a server also. 5 years back, when you purchase laptop, 5 years back when you purchase laptop, they'll ask you, do you want laptop with DOS operating system or Windows operating system? What's the difference? I can purchase laptop with DOS or Windows. What's the difference? It's not a graphical disk operating system. It's just a disk operating system. Again, you have to bring the laptop to your home and install the Windows manually. that Windows is not a license, right? But when you purchase a laptop with Windows, the license software. What is the difference? The difference is without Windows, with DOS, if the laptop is let us cost 55,000, with Windows license software, it costs 50,000. It costs 50,000. But nowadays, they're asking that, do you want laptop, DOS, Windows, or Ubuntu? You can purchase laptop with Ubuntu Linux because Ubuntu Linux is more user friendly. I'm the corporate trainer for Cognizant. So before Corona, we nearly 5,000 laptops we migrated from Windows to Ubuntu Linux. Why? Because of Windows is a virus. Ubuntu is one of the unique flavor, release flavor, no virus. Virus only for Windows, no virus for Unix. So Ubuntu Linux we can use for testing our workstation, or we can use this as a service. I'm going to support to the DevOps engineers. Some people they are using their applications on Ubuntu Linux. Some are in CentOS. Some are in Red Hat. So we are going to discuss all these three flavors, Ubuntu, CentOS, and Red Hat, so that tomorrow you can work on any environment. All these are called distributions. What is this meaning of distribution? For example, take the code. There are two types of codes. One is called binary code. The other one we call source code. Binary code and source code. What is the difference between binary code and source code? What is the difference between the binary code and source code? Binary code is not zero and one, machine language. You can't able to understand it. Source code is user understanding. User understanding. For example, so this is called as a source code. You can understand. Developers can understand what is the source code. That is difference between binary code and source code. Microsoft they never give the source code to the end user. Why? Why Microsoft they never give the source code to the end user? Because license software. If they are providing the source code to the end user, anyone can develop the Windows. Anyone can develop the Windows operating system. That's why they never provide the source code to the end user. The advantage of Linux is source code is available. If you are a technically sound, you know device level programming, kernel programming, network programming, download the source code from internet. You can develop your own Linux operating system. You can redistribute it. All these are distributed. There is no proprietor for Linux. Who is the proprietor for Windows? Microsoft. Who is the proprietor for Solaris? Sun Microsystems. Proprietor for HP, Hewlett Packard. All these are proprietary operating systems. They never give the source code to the end user, but no proprietor for Linux. Anyone can download. Anyone can redistribute. All these are distributed. All these are distributed. When you go to the AWS cloud, in AWS cloud, we can see all the Linux. We cannot see the Solaris, we cannot see the HP Unix or IBM AX, only Linux. Amazon Linux. Amazon also one of the distributors. Mac OS also one of the Unix flavor, Linux flavor. Ubuntu Linux, Red Hat Linux, SUSE Linux, Debian Linux. All these are distributors. That is the advantage of open source code. Why people are using Linux? Why not Sun Solaris? Why not HP Unix? Why not IBM AX? Because those are proprietary operating systems, licensed software. But Linux, no license is required. For example, take mobile. What operating system you are using mobile? Android. What is Android? Is it a Windows or Linux? Android is what? Android is a Linux kernel. Linux kernel, they named as a Android. But what kernel they are using? Linux kernel. You want to check that? You go to about phone. You go to about phone. Check the kernel version. You name iPhone R. If you go to about phone, if you are using Android, go to about phone, see the kernel version. You see that 3.10 something or 5.10 something. That means what? They named as Android, but what kernel they are using? Linux kernel. Why Linux more popular? Because of open source code. For example, today develop a hardware. Today I develop some hardware. I want to use that hardware. What do you require? I want to use that hardware. What do you require? I need a driver. I need a driver. I can't write the driver for in Windows because they never give the source code to the end user. The source code is not available. But you can take this kernel, you can take the source code from internet, download it. We can write the driver for the hardware. You can use that hardware. That is the advantage of open source code. 10 years back, 10 years back, any product, either mobile or car or two-wheeler, four-wheeler, you have to wait for minimum 1 year for new versions. But now, 3 to 6 months, they are getting the new features, new mobiles within 3 to 4 months. Why? Because of open source code. Because of open source code. That is the advantage of Linux. So there is no production servers, no database servers, no application servers without Linux. So you want to choose your career. You want to choose a career. You can choose development side or you can choose admin side. What's the difference? Development means programming, admin means non-programming. Any other difference? Development, you want to go for as a developer. You are good at the development. You are good at the programming. But what is mandatory? BTech. BTech is mandatory. They won't consider any other degree, even you are good at the program. But admin is a non-programming. Any degree eligible. Any degree, even diploma also eligible. No programming skills required. But if at all you are interested, I can teach shell program, but not a mandatory. As you wish, want I can teach shell programming, but not a mandatory to learn Linux administration. So to go for any future technologies like cloud computing or DevOps, cloud computing or DevOps, any future technologies, you require Linux administration. Be strong in the Linux administration so that later you can upgrade your technical skills by learning cloud, AWS or Azure and DevOps. So I told you yesterday the course duration is 40 days, 40 to 45 days. Once you complete this course, you are eligible to keep as a fresher to up to 4 years experience. 0 to 4 years experience. Generally, in Linux, we called as a L1, L2, L3. What is L1? Level 1. Who are level 1? 0 to 3 years experience. 0 to 3 years experience. It comes under level 1. 0 to 3 years experience comes under level 1. What their job? Zero to 2 years experience comes under level 1. Their job is only monitoring. What type of monitoring? Disk monitoring, CPU monitoring, memory monitoring, network monitoring, application monitoring, user monitoring, services monitoring. Their job is only monitoring. As a fresher to 3 years experience. Level 2. Level 2 job is troubleshooting. Tomorrow, if you join as a Linux administrator with 2 to 3 years experience, they won't ask you to set up the web server or a mail server. The server's already set up. Your job is only troubleshooting the issues. L3. L3 more than 4 years experience. Their job is servers configuration. Like web server, application server, database server, all this comes under level 3. Updates and upgrades. So once you complete the course, you are eligible for level 1, level 2, level 3. Any questions? See, you want to work on Windows. What is mandatory? Hardware, mouse. Without mouse, you can't able to work. You want to work on any Unix flavor, Linux or Unix flavor. You need a keyboard. Without keyboard, you can't able to work because everything is a command line. This is called CLA, command line interface. As a Linux administrator, you want to install the software, download the software. It is a Apache Maven, build tool, Tomcat, application server. If it is Windows, open the browser, click on the URL, download automatically. But here, there is no browser. Everything is a command line. So you need to understand there is a command called wget command, curl command. These commands are to download the software from internet. It comes with .gz or .zip. So as a Linux administrator, you need to understand how to install, how to download these files, how to install these files. What is this .tar file? What is .gz file? Everything discussed in the Linux administration. So here nothing is visible to you. Everything you have to see through only through command.
Suppose if they want to browse, they want to use Google.
But
If I want to use Google in a Linux system,
you want to see the movie.
no, I don't want to see Google. I want to browse. I want to see Google. Suppose if I have only Linux in my system.
See, we can install Linux with command line. We can install Linux with graphical mode. This one I install command line, CLI. And this one I install graphical. See, even in Linux also we can play the movies, we can listen the songs, no matter. But in the real time, Linux only for database stuff. The problem with graphical mode required more CPU, more memory utilization. it will take more time to load the operating system. If it is Red Hat, we'll see the Red Hat logo. If it is CentOS, we'll see the CentOS logo. So right click on the terminal. Here we have open terminal. This is graphical mode. Through command line, press Alt F2. Press Alt F2. Type genome -terminal. You can browse. Type what is the IP address? 192. So DHCP dynamic IP. Not you can type Firefox. Firefox the default web browser in Linux. Firefox default web browser. So it also has browser facility, but it is not that much comfort like Windows. Windows is very fast. Much. So once you open the browser, there is no difference between Windows and Linux. So any question? Yes. So, any question, guys? So tomorrow we are going to start the basic command. So tomorrow we start the basic commands, same time. Okay, see you tomorrow. యాక్చువల్గా నిన్న ఒక క్లాస్ అయ్యింది. ఆ క్లాస్లో యూనిక్స్కి